Hey, it's Pete from Abstract Ocean. Today we're going to be installing our center console covers for the second generation center console. So a quick reminder, second generation has the sliding door, doesn't have the flipping panel, and has the kind of suede effect, Qi charging location. So right now we're going to start with three colors on the website. This is the red, the multi-coat red. This is the same paint that Tesla uses, so it's a perfect match if you have a red car. Really pops, super high gloss. There's pros and cons to that, obviously. You know, going back to the original center console, the gloss black or the piano black, shows fingerprints, that sort of thing. So red isn't so bad, obviously, as black, but it does show some fingerprints. And then if you get dust and stuff on it, it shows a little bit more. And then if you're sliding backs and forwards, you may eventually get some little scuff marks. So, but the red is just so pretty. So we're going to start with this color. Then we also have the gloss carbon fiber effect, like that. We have the satin carbon fiber effect, and then we have the satin white, which is what this one looks like. So again, nice match for the seats. I don't know if I'm getting this on camera. Let's move that around for a sec, but you can see that's a pretty good match. So we're going to fit this one, I think. Also in the box, obviously the two pieces that we need. You get a little bit of spare VHB tape as well, so if you find it lifting anywhere, then we'll give you a little spare roll of that, so that helps with that. We give you a spray bottle. This is so that you can make up a solution of isopropyl alcohol. So I have my alcohol somewhere here. That's what it looks like. You can either get it in 91 or maybe 76 or 71 or something. Either works. I'm actually going to go ahead and try the install without it, so we'll see how that goes. It's just easier, and because we want to make sure this top piece is well adhered, especially in the middle, right? Because we don't want it lifting and rubbing on the aluminum edging as it goes backwards and forwards. I really want to avoid using it if I can, but that may be easier said than done. I may live to regret that. You'll see that if I do. But anyway, you have a little squirty bottle for whatever you need, and then a couple of cleaning pads just to prep the surface. So before we get started, I guess, let's do a quick update on some of the other products. So this is our armrest cover, super popular, just come back in stock again. We'll get more, so if by the time you watch this video we're out, we're getting a lot more. Also going to add S and X, refresh and pre-refresh to that. So people love this, I love this. We are trying to make a white version to match the seats. Getting this white colour is quite difficult though, so we'll see how that goes. There goes one of the cameras. In here we have the little Jawa armrest organizer, and it actually fits the light perfectly as well. This light is, it'll come on when it's dark, so it's light sensitive as well. Obviously we're outside, so it won't come on without me doing it manually. But really nice tray, like all the Jawa trays we sell. Move those out of the way. It has like this rubber liner as well, so I try to do this one-handed. So you can always remove this to wash it or do whatever you want, and then just put it straight back in there. So really nice, robust tray. Okay. And then kind of at the front of the center console, another one of the trays. This is the 3-section sliding tray, just slides out of the way. Same deal, has this rubber inlay, and then the rock solid foundation in the plastic tray. This is the USB hub. Also worth noting that although it brings the USB-C ports and a USB-A to the top, 2022 Model Y, Model 3, Tesla has got rid of data on this. So right now your only option is to power stuff from these top ports. We're working on a module that will fix that as well. So hopefully we'll have that pretty soon. And then of course the S3XY buttons. Right now I think we use one for drive mode and then volume up, volume down. Finally, before we get on to the point of the video, there's the steering yoke. This is the carbon fiber and Alcantara version. You'll see it matches really nice with the stalks as well that we sell, the real carbon fiber stalk covers. These are satin carbon fiber. So check that out. This is not the heated version. This Model 3 doesn't have heating, but we will be getting heated steering yokes. Time recording, kind of halfway through March. We'll have them by April 2022. Alright, with all of that said, let's get the cover off so you can see that process. So we'll take off the red. I'm really sad to do that because I love the red, it pops so nice. Obviously I have a red Model 3, white interior, so it's a real nice contrast. But we'll get that off and then we will clean up and we'll put the Satin White cover on. Alright. Okay, so we're going to take this cover off, put the Satin White version on. So this is a good demo if you ever do need to remove the cover for any reason, or if you just want to change up the look of your center console. This has been on for probably 4 or 5 months now, but this is kind of our test center console as well, so it will probably come up fairly easily. But I'm just going to get my fingers underneath one end, start to pry it up. That's done pretty good. There we go. Just get a start on that. Okay, that came up pretty clean. If for some reason some of this VHB tape gets left behind, you can just kind of roll it off with your thumb. So that's not really a problem. Get that out of the way. Get this top bit off. And do the same thing. This one's going to put up a bit more of a fight because it's actually tucked under on 3 sides as well. So this is the easy bit to fit. This is what we're going to start with. Then we'll go to this bit, which will be more of a challenge. Trying not to crack it because I really like it, but I think I'm going to have to. Alright, so there you go. So that came off pretty cleanly, and you can see it's actually still in pretty good shape, so that's how tough these things are. So really nice paint finish on these. And I've just got a little bit of adhesive around here, so let's get that off. You'll see I've got some weird patterns on this center console. That's just from testing all kinds of stuff, so don't worry, this won't do that to yours. This is getting on for a couple of years old and we've tried everything on this. But it doesn't matter because we never actually have the original finish exposed. Alright, so let me grab the wipes. These are just little alcohol wipes, just to make sure there's no weird residue. I don't know what that is. That's again from testing something at some point. I should say, because the covers kind of roll over the edge of the cup holder, it does mean that our cup holder stabilizer, which I've probably got in here somewhere, won't fit, unfortunately. Okay, so we'll start with the cup holder piece. So say this bit's easy, so we're going to dry fit it first. With any of these things, always dry fit first, just so you get an idea for it. So you'll see, just sits right on there. Now a couple of things to note, it should be flush with the edges. Depending on essentially the build quality of your car and your center console in particular, you might see a bit of a gap, and you'll see it's not difficult to make that gap right just by pulling it away a little bit. So if you do see a gap, be sure that everything's snapped in properly on the side of your center console, and that should take care of it. But you can see there is no gap here at all, so this looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and remove all the protective film. Now this is pressure activated tape, which means that, obviously it means when you apply pressure it sticks, but it goes both ways, right? So when you're peeling it off, maybe just kind of squash it down at the end first, just because that'll help you peel it off, otherwise it may come off with the red stuff. That was fun. Alright, so what we're going to do is I've got a camera directly above here, so I'm going to try and get over the top of it without obscuring things too much, but this piece just drops on, so it's fairly straightforward. The main thing to concentrate on, I suppose, is this leading edge. Just make sure we get it completely parallel. It will find its own spot, but you can of course maneuver it just ever so slightly to make sure it's all good. So let's go ahead and just drop it on. let it find its spot, and then we're going to kind of wiggle it around just by feeling along there. That's pretty good. So we're going to apply some pressure here, so that top edge is good. Then we're just going to work our way back. Remembering where the VHB tape was underneath, so we have a long strip across here. That's fairly important. Obviously one across the back as well. There's one in the middle here, and then a couple kind of top and bottom of the cup holder. So get some pressure applied there. Make sure these are all in. Okay, as you can see, that was really easy. So we're halfway there. You feel, or you can hear the satin texture there as well. So this other piece, it's a little bit different. Hope you can see this on camera. So we use a flat adhesive on this one, just because we want to keep it as flush as possible. And this is why I'm a little hesitant of using the alcohol spray. What it allows is this will take a slower hold. So the alcohol spray essentially provides a evaporative barrier. So when it evaporates, obviously the adhesive takes. But while it's not, while it's still wet with the alcohol, you can maneuver things around a little bit. So we're going to try and do it without this. You saw from removing the red one that this is pretty resilient. It's got some flex in it. It's easy to work with. So we're going to try without. The key thing to get right here is this handle. So again, we're going to be looking at this. Got some adhesive left over there. So we're going to be looking at this gap, or not so much the gap, but the edge. We're going to get parallel with this edge. But at the same time, you've got to kind of tuck it under all three sides. So obviously when it's dry, that's pretty easy to do. We can shimmy it around. Let's get it under there and there. So nice and easy to do when it's dry, but when it's wet, a little bit more challenging. So we're going to give it a go though. And if it doesn't work, we'll use the alcohol spray. So these are a little easier to peel off. I should say we also have a real carbon fibre version of these. Carbon fibre by nature is quite brittle, right? Because it's a very thin piece of carbon fibre. So you do need to use the alcohol spray for that. Right now the version we have is full coverage like these. We'll be getting one with the card cut out again in about a month's time, so kind of April 2022 time frame. Alright, so again what we're going to do is pay attention to getting it square and on this handle. I just got some junk there from old installs. I'm not going to worry about that too much. So using this top edge, or this sort of trailing edge, we're going to line that up, but obviously it's a little bit wider, so just gonna and sorry, keep turning it over. So the adhesive goes pretty much to the edge on both sides, but you do have this sort of 2 or 3 mil gap, so use that to your advantage. So we're going to get this edge underneath just slightly, and we're going to, I'm putting my thumb or any finger under here just to let it bow just a little bit. So right now the adhesive is still not really making contact underneath, which is what we want. Okay, and then we're going to carefully tuck it up underneath there, bring it forward just a little bit. Oh, I had it and I lost it. Let's try again. So we're going to tuck it under one edge, then we're going to just force it to flex a little bit by sticking a finger under this edge. Oops. And don't worry, you can lift and reapply as much as you need to. This is my first time doing this way, so this is a bit of an experiment. Okay, now we're going to just see if we can shimmy it around just a little bit to get it back a little bit. Okay, so we're making progress. So we have it under all the sides, but it's stuck again. So I'm just going to lift it up again. Shimmy it forward a little bit. Okay, so let's get that. No, still doesn't have it. The problem is that you need to make sure it's very flush over this handle, because if this is quite a close mould, so if it's not, then you'll find this edge lifting. So I'm going to give up on that. I'm going to go back to plan A, which is alcohol. You may have more luck. So what we're going to do is just a light mist, spread around real quick, and I'm going to kind of watch it. I want to see it starting to flash away or evaporate before we start, because I don't want a lot of this on there, just enough to complete the application. Okay, it's starting to evaporate, so let's get on this. So we're going to slide it under there, and you'll see this allows us to shimmy it around a lot easier, because it's not going to, the adhesive isn't going to grab. So now we're good on that. You'll see this leading edge is good. And we're going to apply some pressure all over. Remember that the adhesive on this is pretty much all over, right? So you may want to get a cloth just to help apply the even pressure. Now, because we used alcohol and because the adhesive on this is quite dense, the best thing you can do is go park the car in the sun where the sun is hitting this, or just turn the heat up for 15 minutes. So we're going to pretend that we've done that for the sake of getting the video done, but hopefully you can see, and I'll get a close-up maybe with this camera. So hopefully you can see that that's a really nice fit. I kind of get the seat in the background there, so nice match with the seat as well. And then in terms of the slide, that actually went on pretty well. So it does rub a little bit on here. It's unavoidable. There's just not much clearance there. It doesn't cause a problem, but I will say, in all honesty, on the gloss versions, ironically, it will slide a little bit easier. But if you have any dust on this surface, you'll eventually get, it could get trapped underneath here and cause a little scratch. If I grab the red cover back again, wherever that went, I want to get a real good close-up of this. So, this is, and obviously it's got fingerprints and stuff on it, but hopefully you can see that's from being in the car for 4 or 5 months. It's actually held up really well. So I just want to kind of, give you the pros and cons of everything. Gloss is always going to show fingerprints, that's unavoidable. The satin is just a really clean finish, matches the interior perfectly, and just looks really nice. So you have your choices. That's it. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. Bye bye.